Let's invite our speakers on stage once again for the final Q&A session. All right? Can we have the speakers all on? That is today's speakers. So, yes, Juan, Rohan, which rhymes, Frederick, my lover in a past life, Anisha. No, I won't say anything about it. No, don't worry. Gosh, get me in trouble. Okay, so there are lots of questions here. I don't know if we'll have time. In fact, I'm hoping we don't. But we'll try and fit in about as many as we can. And is there time to ask the audience? If we can. You put everything back on me like an Indian politician. No committing from Ravi. Unbelievable. Pass the buck with a B. Yeah. Anisha, first question. Do you want to say hi to everybody quickly? Hi. Speakers are here. We have 2 mics and 4 speakers. So don't grab the mics, alright? There's plenty of time to answer. Anisha, first question to you. Do all brands deserve a trip to the spa? What kind of question is that? Do all brands deserve your metaphor?
I think they do. It's only a question of timing, and it's only a question of which massage are they going for? Do you need a Bolognese? Do you need a Swedish? Do you need a Ayurveda massage? But your brand does need rejuvenation, and how frequently do you need it depends on your life stage. If you're my life stage, you will realize you need to visit every month. But if you're probably younger, my daughter, she would go every week. We think young brands actually don't need to go that often, but they need to keep it fresh as well. So personally, I think yes, all brands deserve a spa.
Yeah, did the person who wrote that question, is he here or is she here? Is there anyone who wrote the question here or did God write the question? Michelle, you wrote it. You wrote the question when you could have simply SMS her later and wasted the time of the entire August audience. Alright, we'll move on. No prize for you, Michelle. It's cheating. To Rohan, if a company is having different products under one roof, should it be promoting those products under one brand or more than one brand? Example, if Nestle has different chocolates and biscuits, should they be promoting them under one brand or more than one brand? Rohan?
I'll actually use your presentation to answer that question, and I will talk about one brand which uses different brand voices. Taco Bell has a different personality on Instagram, a different personality on Facebook, and different personality on Twitter. So to answer to your question is obviously yes, different brands, but a same brand can have different contexts and tones depending on what's happening. So there is nothing set in stone. So,
alright, do we have the questioner here? Oh, the gentleman always right at the back hiding, the one with the very provocative questions. They're always at the back of the army for some reason, sir. Well, what is your name? In case you will give a prize, this is just want to remember. Good question, Ron.
Did I answer your question or did I cop out? You can tell me.
Are you happy with the answer?
Yes, sir.
Don't call him sir, call him uncle. Next up, we have Frederick. Frederick, how do we convince people that they are creative? What does that mean? How do we convince people that they're creative? Perhaps low self-esteem. So, how do you...
Okay, so, yeah, I guess that goes back to the second question I asked. So, the sweet spot is, okay, so this is creativity. Everyone is walking in this direction, and then you are going to walk in this direction, right? So in order to do that, you need to be confident. But truly creative people don't think like this. Truly creative people think like this. Everyone is walking in this direction, then you walk in this direction, you say, oh, maybe not, maybe this direction, maybe that direction. So really creative people are always doubting, is what I am doing right, or is there a better way? So it's actually better to be humble and question your own creativity. I don't want everyone to say that they're creative. I don't want creative confidence, I want creativity. And creativity is, I've interviewed some of the most creative people on earth, and they always lack the confidence. There might be a better way. I wonder was I right, or is there another way of doing it? So I want that humbleness. So confidently doubting, that's the sweet spot.
Yeah, like I always wonder, normal things like pregnancy, why do kids come out of the same place? Don't have a more creative option, but we'll move on. Who gave that question? Was there anybody here? I think Frederick, they're all scared of you, so nobody wants to put their hand up. Who asked the question? Michelle. Okay, no worries. We go on to take one. How does nation branding build world's leading global city, which is Singapore? Will you please give us some insights regarding this? It's a slightly immodest question. Yeah.
Could you repeat it?
Yeah. How does nation branding build the world's leading global city, Singapore? Will you please share some insights regarding this? It's a given that Singapore is the leading global city. In the question. His name is here as well. Govinda, please stand up. Govinda Dattal. Oh, the famous from the Kantipur Media Group, which is not the same as the HD.
Sorry, just to clarify a question, are you suggesting what is the secret for good nation building?
Yeah. Something like that.
It's got nothing to do with my topic. I have to put this over to the Singapore government. But I guess the success is the testimony of what they say. I mean, as a Singaporean, I mean, you always question, as people, you always question what the government does, right? And I think what the Singapore government does in its good way is they do put where they do what they're doing, they actually show. So I mean, you can see it from the infrastructure, you can actually see it from what they build. So I think, as a Singaporean, just observing in our country, we're kind of straightforward in some sense. So like what Frederick said, we want to be number one. So our goal is, well, quite superficial because we want to beat the competitor, and by trying to beat the competitor, we become better. I don't know if that's your answer.
I think his real inspiration is he wants you to invite him for a free holiday to Singapore. Is that it? And hence all the praise. Are you happy with the answer?
Yeah, fine.
Fine, because we can't find the mic. It'll take 15 minutes. Cheers. Thank you. Back to Miss Anisha. Your address is Miss Anisha Motwani. Obviously a flirt. His name is Sitaram Gokul. I hope he's a man. But this is a real question. I feel very bad. I feel this poor Dr. Vijay Mallya, who was my dentist for a long time, unfortunately gets a lot of flack. Why did Kingfisher Airlines in India fail in spite of creating such a strong brand across all medias?
So, I think between all the softer stuff that brand is all about, what we forget is that there is economics sitting at the bottom of it all. Okay? And what Vijay Mallya completely miserably failed on was the economics of his business model. The value that he created for the brand, all those free valets who would pick up your bags at the airport,
I was one.
those pretty dresses, they were the ones who started those mini red dresses in the airlines. The number of aircrafts in which there were business class seats, okay? The sectors that he chose to fly were completely matching his lifestyle, okay? I think he forgot in all this that 99.99% of India is not Vijay Mallya, okay? So he created a brand that matched his, so in airlines, the aircrafts are the biggest, number of aircrafts is the biggest product that you have. If you don't intelligently create your flying schedules, which cities you fly, how do you build in efficiencies so that there's more and more rotation of aircrafts, I think he just completely misunderstood that.
But isn't Richard Branson a little similar with a little more success?
I think Richard Branson is a businessman first. Okay, so he got the business economics right, and then he actually,
Flamboyance is a cover-up for Dr. Vijay Mallya.
He's a shrewd businessman. Vijay Mallya got it all right.
So he's Gujarati, is what you're saying. All right, happy with the answer? Happy? It was you again? Why don't you just join us? Give him a chair. Okay, next question.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
interrupted to say thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Frederick, you want to take that? Alright, let's go on to Rohan, and this is very important because this is about Nepal. How is Twitter planning to promote itself in Nepal, where Facebook, Instagram, and in your face, mate? Where Facebook, Instagram is more dominant and far more influencing, Mr. Rohan?
I have been advised by my PR team to not answer that question.
I can tell you, this was been an Indian writing about Nepal. Nepalese people will not write.
Who asked the question? Can you please stand up? Yes, can you repeat the question again? What is the question?
The question is, how do you guys, Twitter, plan to promote yourself in Nepal where you're on the back foot slightly because Facebook and Instagram is far more dominant? So what's your strategy going on here in Nepal?
I'm very keen on giving a very mean answer, so I'll try to tone it down.
Give it a mic, please.
First of all, we don't have, to answer your question, we don't have any plans. We don't have any budget. We don't have any intentions of doing it, right? The second thing is, Facebook, when you go to Facebook, the status update says, what's on your mind, right? It's about you. Whereas on Twitter, when you go there, it says, what's happening in the world. Twitter is a platform for curious people who want to know what's happening in the world and not in someone else's bedroom. So that's so. And I can keep on going about this because that's my job. But unfortunately, we are a very small company. We should not be compared to Facebook. Facebook is a behemoth. They're billions of dollars. We are still trying to be profitable. We're completely aware of that. But I think we have a much bigger role to play in this world today than any other platform has. So you might start using it yourself. I don't want to sell it to you.
You want to say that we are not curious enough to use Twitter?
I didn't say that. I said that Twitter is mostly the mindset of people who use Twitter more than Facebook is of curious people. That the studies have shown that.
But that means you said what she said you said.
I didn't point it at her.
Oh, come on, you're in Nepal, you want to go back home alive or not? Just say the wrong answer sometimes if you have to. Yeah. Are you okay with that? But he's not really giving us any strategy or build up, so we can't. We'll have to kill him, right?
I mean, Instagram. Why is Facebook and Instagram? Okay, Facebook became famous. Sorry to take everyone's time. Facebook became famous because of people's innate need for voyeurism and meddling in other people's lives. Instagram became famous. Why? Because Instagram is about curating your world. Twitter, being witty and smart in 140 characters is very tough, and that's why it's a difficult product to use.
Do you think you'll catch up?
In Kathmandu?
Only in Nepal. This question is a local question.
I hope we do. I really hope we do.
Okay. He's dodged the bullet again. We'll move on. Frederick, this is from a fan, so it's probably me. What's the one idea that made you say wow? I mean, if there is one. One idea that you immediately said wow to, and also, P.S. you were brilliant. Are you married? And I'm thinking of you all day. You were brilliant. One idea that made you go wow without a second's hesitation.
That question that made me go wow.
Then I think you all should exchange numbers. Just kind of fan.
I go wow all the time. I think that I like your definition. I've never heard that around that Twitter is supposed to be for the curious. I almost see Twitter differently now after you said that. But now people ask, who do you think is the most inspiring? If I see anything, like I flew in from Istanbul. I mean, from Chicago via Istanbul and then here, and I took a picture. This is not you're not going to be impressed by this at all. It's not a cool idea at all. But they have a sign in Istanbul airport that says prayer room and tax-free on the same, like it shows the direction to prayer room and tax-free on the same sign. And to me, it was like, I am right now in the intersection between Asia and Europe. You have a Muslim prayer room sign and an alcohol sign on the same sign. Where would you see this? Like this? So I got so inspired being for 12 hours in Istanbul.
Did you pray or did you drink?
I prayed for a drink. Is that okay?
Or you drank too much and then start praying?
So it's like people say that the life is the small things. I think creativity is also the small things. Sometimes people stop being creative because they want to be Elon Musk. It's the small things, like finding, like everyone went in the break. All the men went to the same toilet, and there was a queue of men trying to pee. So I went to the other toilet. There's no queue there. Like, why are you queuing when there's 2 toilets? So it's the small things. So I get wowed by. I'm easy to impress when it comes to creativity.
Yeah, I got wowed by the urinal because at the corner there's a urinal where you have to turn diagonally and pee.
Oh, that's a flower vase. I'm sorry.
Oh, damn it! Twice in 2 days.
Sorry, I'll just steal one more minute. I think I forgot to tell Robin that I should not be asked questions about Twitter. So when you asked it, I was a bit stumped, and I think it was a bit rude, so I apologize. And I'll answer that question again, right? I'm very passionate about this platform, and I want to take 60 seconds, I'm really sorry. So let me tell you something. I don't know if many people know this. Hashtag was proposed by a Hollywood actor. Twitter was built by people. Twitter never went around telling people to please use us. The new campaign we are running in the US, Japan, and Australia, because they have a lot of revenue, is called hashtag See Every Side. That's what Twitter does. It shows you every side. Other platforms are echo chambers. When North Korea banned US passports to come into North Korea a month ago, a tweet went out from a agent in North Korea. The US embassy or the US government didn't put it out. The news breaks on Twitter. Before it's happening, before it's trending, before it's history, it happens on Twitter. So, to a room full of 300 Nepalese, I can passionately plead that please use the platform because they help you see every side, and that's all the marketing Twitter can afford in this country right now.
Much better, Beta, much better. Even if it's insincere, said the right thing at last. Very good. Okay, one question, Ron. If Facebook offers you thrice the salary and equity, would you go?
What makes you think they haven't yet?
I get my head out of that flower pot for a minute. Dan, Tay, this is for you. Usually it's easy to set, it's a tough question, to set the right context and understand your audience. But how do we state the clarity of purpose? Please can you help me understand this with an example from your experience? The clarity of purpose. And the guy's name is Rajan Koirala. Rajan, are you here? Yeah, just stand up, please. Give him a mic. Clarity of purpose illustrated from your own examples.
There is a tough question. I think you've heard a lot of people talk about purpose, and it could mean very different things. So just to make it really, really simple, I think purpose can mean, for example, doing positive impact. I think it's going beyond selling some stuff. So I think if you state the purpose, the brand needs to be behind it. So let's say cope with happiness, right? That's the brand tonality. And the purpose that they do for advertising, or what they've actually manifested, they use happiness as an emotion, and the purpose is to make everybody happy. So I hope that's as simple as it gets. So they created, the happiness factory or the happiness machine. There's a vending machine that sort of give wonderful stuff to students. So I think when a brand has a branding message that equates to their and it ties back to clarity of purpose, actually the work seems to come together seamlessly. Does it help? Does it answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Can you repeat the entire answer? No. Okay, so Ravan, let them ask the questions live instead for a few minutes, as much time as we have. So who wants to ask a question from the audience? And just state your name, whether you pay tax in Nepal or India, and then the person you'd like to ask the question to. Yes, please. It's Gaurav, I think, but we don't have a mic. Hang on, Gaurav, for 5 seconds. The mic is coming. It's Usain Bolt. He's retired. He's slow. Not in the mood.
This for T. So you did show us quite a few very interesting, real life story ads, which was used to primarily more, for social causes. But how would you look at, what do you think would it be suitable for, or what should we look at when we're doing it for a commercial purpose? Because it can get a little sketchy when we're trying to, your customers can get very, offended by saying that, you're using that. So could you just shed some light on that aspect?
Even insurance, by the way.
So I think in the examples at 10, I know a lot of them are more social causes, but I tried to pick at least as many as possible for brands. So the one that comes to mind is Volvo, where they use survivors to sell a salesperson. So I think what's nice about that is that the brand is again selling safety. So safety is the tonality. So what's best to sell safety is to people who have survived crashes. So for me, I think that's a really good equation between purpose and also selling some stuff. The second one that you notice is Pepsi and Pepsi and Burger King. They use it's a brand that wants to sell to authentic people, and what better way is to sell rejected people from talents? So those two are quite good examples of how brands can go beyond creating positive impact, but not trying to be holistic, or not trying to become taking more than what they can chew. I think for me, what's important is that it fits. For example, happiness. Let's talk about Coke, because that's really simple. Because when they launched the manifesto films, it was about the world's a horrible place, but we can offer little happiness. I think when a brand offers some purpose into our lives, we accept it. I mean, it's still a little fuzzy drink. I mean, it's nothing, they're not selling drinks. The other example is Kit Kat. So we, JWT, we have Kit Kat for the last 10 over years. Kit Kat doesn't sell chocolate, it sells bricks. So break is a purpose. Break is a purpose. And when we are all stressed out, we need a little time for a little break. So I hope that,
It does,
answers
but
your
now we
question.
all want Kit Kat. Is that good? Good? Go ahead.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound convinced.
I know.
Is
You
it
know,
good?
actually, I have a very practical, issue in the sense that, what I was actually thinking was, I have been thinking about doing something along that line, but then I've not really been able to decide whether, they should really take that story on or not, because these kind of practical real life stories can actually get very, it can be counterproductive in terms of a brand.
Yeah. So maybe let's talk about that because that's interesting. I think brands who are looking for change has to take risk. And the risk has to be calculated. And if you look at social media, I mean, for example, with Facebook, they tell us to do 10 stuff and hopefully 3 things sticks. I think I'm sure with Twitter, I mean, you send different messages. So I think if you are slightly afraid, it's going to be tough for you to proceed. And things stick when it's controversial. Things stick when people talk about it. Negativity can be turned into positivity. So I think once you're afraid, it's really difficult to move on.
Does anybody want to add?
Do you want to add on to it?
Shall I just our lawyers to take care of the question? Good, Ron? Okay. Good, Gaurav. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
He's still here, there's dinner and all that. Talk to him. I'm sure he'll answer you more specifically later. Yeah. That's Mr. Kedia, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
My question to Anisha Motwani, if a company is not strong financially, can it build a strong brand?
So, there are two different things, company brands and product brands, okay? Many companies, actually, we don't even know they exist, but their product brands are so strong, okay? So, we call it, are you trying to build a branded house or a house of brand? So in many cases where you are a house of brands, you might have a few offerings that are very relevant and completely needed by the market. Listerine as a category, say for example, we don't know what company it comes from. Came from a simple data insight, that only 23% of the human mouth is teeth. Okay, only 23% is teeth. And for teeth, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of products and toothpastes and toothbrushes, okay? But what happens to the rest of the mouth, okay? Now that is a simple insight that created a very powerful offering called Listerine, okay? We don't know what company it comes from. So sometimes if you actually create a solution offering, if your solution actually is really needed by the market, it continues to survive despite, no matter what kind of competition coming in, what's happening to your company behind the scene.
Mr. Kedia? All right?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. It's 40,000 rupees a question at the party, so just save your money for that. We have time for a couple more quickly. Anyone? People who can't see the guests, do you want to ask a question? That's right. Cheaper seats, economy class at the back. Anyone? This is your last chance to ask a couple of questions. Anything, it can be personal. You can ask Frederick about the coat. He's been bullying me all evening. Stand up. Stand up, I say. No? Nobody? Okay, so there's one last question for everyone, whoever wants to take it from the panel. When we are promoting a product, we at times communicate the brand in a prominent way. This product is another product from the day. How do we and how can we promote both parallelly? Will it get cluttered? Can it be done? Have you understood? Take a crack at it. Read it yourself and decide later. Who wrote this question? Maybe you can explain it. Yeah, he'll explain it. Come, stand up, stand up. It's easier. To anyone who can answer it.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Just explain the question quickly.
Our organization, I work in a bank. So we have various products in the bank. So when we are promoting a product, I also parallelly want to promote my brand. So is it possible to promote the product and the brand together? Or if I'm promoting the both, will it get cluttered and I'll not be able to communicate my message? And what is the best way of doing so?
Actually, you have to do both. The product needs to come from the brand personality. Because if you do it differently, it looks like it comes from two different personalities. So, for example, the brand has a tonality. The product needs to follow the same. I mean, it's like a person can wear different hats. So one day I'm a comedian, one day I can be a cook. And so these are different products, but it comes from the same person. So I think it's possible, in my opinion.
Anybody else? Lisa?
It is very much possible. If as a brand you have a purpose and you have those values, what products need to do, they need to actually follow that through. So you might have one product, you might have 10 products. Okay, they might have different positionings in the marketplace. They might fulfill different needs. Okay, but as long as they follow the same value system, you don't create incongruence. The problem that happens is that in today's day and age, there are ways to do it very smartly, in the sense channels can be different. Okay, you do your company brand in a certain way, speak to a certain audience. The reason why you're advertising, I'm sure there's a different objective to why you would do your brand and why you would do your product. So as long as you're clear what purpose it's going to serve, you will realize that the medium that you use, the audience that you speak to will be very different, and the communication will be very different. But just make sure that you follow the same purpose and the same value system. That has to start reflecting.
Friedrich. Rohan.
Okay, so I interviewed the CEO of Evernote a couple of years ago. And he told me that when they created Evernote, they decided they're going to put 99% of all their energy on building a really good product. They said, if you build a really good product in today's world, social and all of that, and then they give it away for free, right? So if you build a really good product, people will talk about it, and they will start using it, and then some people will tell other people about it, and then after a while, people who are willing to pay will pay for it, so only 5% are paying for it. If they don't talk about it, should you put more into marketing and advertising, or should you build a better product? That is the difference in today's world. And it's interesting, because I interviewed him like 4 years ago, I think. And you look at Evernote now, they haven't made the product better. They've kind of plateaued out, and Evernote has kind of lost its way as well as a product. So I think I think that's a good analogy on how the product itself is so much more marketing and branding itself right today compared to how it was before. Before people had to find out, now people will tell others about a good product. And that's true for hotels or TripAdvisor or whatever. So the branding is much more into the product now than it used to be before.
First of all, just a fun fact, Apple just started their Instagram account last week. That is the first social media account they've ever created. So Steve Jobs always believed that product is your marketing. Elon Musk famously hates marketing. He believes that he doesn't need to market. Now those are extreme examples. I know you can't ask this publicly, but if I had talked to you privately, what I would ask is, what is the size of your business? What is the percentage of your marketing budget? And who is looking after the ROI? If there is an ROI-driven business, I would invest more into direct marketing, because you need to answer the questions to someone. But if you can play in some chaos of brand marketing, and if you have the risk appetite, you should go there. It's a very practical question. I mean, there is no like if you have an excellent product, and like Frederick said, people talk about it, just like Apple, it'll sell on itself. But if you have some budget to play with, then you spend something on brand.
It's the kind of answer my wife gave when I asked her if she loves me. Many different options. Stick with it. Don't call my wife. Okay, do we have time for one more? That's it? One more wife, is it? Yeah, alright. So let's thank the panelists. Firstly, all of them, this is riveting today. Everybody, that's Anissa, Rohan, Frederick, and of course, Guan himself, who started it off. Give them a big hand, guys. Come on. Having fun. They've really given us something special. And all they're getting is conveyance from the hotel to the airport. Thank you.